Hey YouTube, this is Southern Prepper One. Hope you have a great weekend. JD, my business partner, decided to put our straws, emergency water straws, on super sale, 43% off. So it's about $8 a piece if you buy a 5-pack. So just want to tell you about those. It's only going to run this weekend. So if you're needing them, good place and good time to get them. I am so glad that all the people out there that said, oh, the solar flare is going to take down the power grid. Looks like we didn't have many problems in the whole world. And I got some awesome photographs. Took the camera out late last night and it was beautiful, beautiful. So yes, don't be fearful of solar flares. I mean, you need to be concerned, you need to be prepared, you need to know what would happen if it affected the power grid or GPS or anything else. But it was beautiful. So I was actually glad it happened. I know some of the ham guys with long-range communications, they had terrible, terrible. They couldn't do it because of this, but it was beautiful. Also, I just got back from my little one's first birthday party. It was awesome. There was a lot of little people there, and so I saw some relatives. It was a good time. But as I watched all these millions of kids play, now there wasn't millions, but there was a bunch of little kids playing there. I felt sorry for him. I felt sorry that I haven't done enough to be proactive in providing them an environment that is conducive to growing up in, to having a family, to buying a house, and to being everything they can be. So I looked around the room and there was older people there. Did they do everything to put me in a position? So there's a lot of blame to go around, but I just want to say we probably all failed setting up the next generation to have it easier than us. And I don't mean easy in the sense of, entitlement or just giving stuff, but to have the opportunity to fulfill their dreams if they have dreams and desires. But we haven't. So that means I have to do a few things. First, I have to try to be more politically involved. And I know what some people are saying, Dave, the elections are a fraud, and I agree with you. But there's still local people that need to be elected that are good people. But I don't think that's the hope, to be honest with you. The system is so flawed. It is so corrupt. It is so evil. It is so revolting. It physically will make you sick if you think about what these people in politics, what these people in leadership have done to our country. Right now, I am begging Ukrainian military people to surrender. Please just surrender. Nothing good will come out of you still continuing the fight. There is nothing good. First of all, the United States government and the powers that be behind the scenes want you to go fight and die. They want to punish Russia. And they don't care about you. Bottom line, they do not care about you. Your own government does not care about you. They should have signed a peace treaty years ago, right when they had an opportunity to get very good conditions. Now the conditions are going to be terrible that you're going to have to sign, but it is better for those conditions to be signed now because you're going to lose everything anyways. The Russians are going to take everything they want. And what is happening is we can throw all the money we want into there, and we are. We're decimating our military reserve stockpile. We have put ourselves in a very vulnerable position because we have no manufacturing. This is facts. This is from inside information that I talk to people that actually work for defense contractors. They're saying they can't even, get things out the door now. And this is in an environment that they stress to me. They're importing materials and getting things from overseas that in worst case event will not be coming into our country. And they said their production lines are going to cease to exist. They're not the infrastructure in the United States to bring them those raw materials. A lot of industrial materials. It will end. We will have no manufacturing. We are in no position to be threatening anyone in this world. Our military is in disarray. And this isn't just me making things up. This is talking to people that are in the military. This is for me being in the military. This is from my son being in the military. We're in desperate situations. No one wants to serve the military, and rightfully so. I wouldn't want to serve in the United States military today. Definitely not. I actually probably prefer to serve in the Russian military, and the reasons are Russia's not perfect, don't get me wrong. Putin is not perfect, don't get me wrong. But at least they're standing for traditional values. They're standing against this woke agenda. And they're actually trying to protect their country. The reason they're into Ukraine, and my philosophy has changed from day one when I started doing in-depth research. Basically, NATO and the United States in particular has lied to Russia from the start, many, many years ago, saying, no, NATO won't expand. NATO has expanded. It broke everything we have told the Russians. So the Russians have felt very much threatened by us trying to get into Ukraine. And they're saying, no, we have to protect our country. And I give them so much credit. I give their leaders credit for actually wanting to take care of Russians. Right now, they're kicking tons of migrants illegally out of their country. The illegals that have come in and people that have come in illegally, they're kicking them out. I believe they're kicking them out for one reason. If you're going to have a wider conflict, you need to have people out that could cause problems for you. And they're doing that now. France has lost their service members inside of Russia. This is a fact. So we have NATO troops fighting. They're definitely using them in very technical aspects of the war. Targeting, intel. They're there. France is calling for sending more troops over there. This is insanity. They definitely going to get us involved in a conflict that we can't win. And I'll be honest with you, I don't want my son, daughter, cousin, nephew, anyone to be fighting over there. It doesn't make sense. I believe Russia, well, I more than just believe, there's so much solid evidence that Russia has moved tactical nuclear weapons in a position to be able to be used in a minute's notice. And they're threatening the United States, they're threatening NATO, they're threatening Europe. We're tired of you sending your long-range missiles to Ukraine. They know who's shooting those missiles. It's not Ukrainians. It is with the help of American troops, boots on the ground, firing those weapons into Russia, hitting them. Russia's going to get to the point, and they have stated it publicly, that, hey, enough is enough. If you participate like you're doing, we're going to consider you involved in this war, and we will be able to target you. Russia has lost extreme amount of men and women and civilians in World War II. They lost millions upon millions upon millions of people fighting for their country. The United States have never suffered that amount of loss. And they're going to protect their country. They will use tactical nuclear weapons. If they have to confront NATO, they'll have no qualms about using tactical nuclear weapons. And they have the advantage over the United States. They have more of them. Right now, militarily, they have studied for the last, a year or so, longer than a year, how the United States weapon systems worked. And I can tell you, the weapon systems that were you can't defeat these things, have been defeated, and the Russians have figured it out. I was talking to someone about their electronic warfare. It is miles ahead of ours. Our sophisticated weapons that use GPS, they can mess with that, so our long-range precision weapons are no longer precision weapons. So we'll go back to, let's just talk about artillery rounds. The United States are running out of artillery rounds, 155s. That is the backbone of anything. You have to gain fire superiority, or you have to gain the indirect fire, and you have to have that better than your opponent. And the Russians are manufacturing them at a crazy rate compared to us. They're making more just in Russia alone than all of Europe and all the United States combined. And with the help of North Korea and China, they're definitely, we cannot match them. So this war is ugly. I've looked at a lot of footage, and the reason I study the footage in depth, I take notes on the footage, just because I have a son in the military. And I'm trying to make sure I can brief him as much as possible, because the military is not doing their job. The military should be just having so many drones, even small drones, that the troops on the ground can use just for the reconnaissance purposes. We're not developing that. And if we have to go peer-to-peer, we're going to be in trouble. Our Patriot missile system anti-air is not up to par. It is not what we need compared to other ones out in the market. And we're going to suffer dearly. The United States, for every single war, Vietnam, going all the way back to Vietnam, Korea, all those, we had some air superiority. With air superiority, you can fight a different type of battle. Nowadays, we will not have air superiority. The introduction of drones into the battlefield changes everything. Normally, you would go to the field if you were doing a training exercise, and they would set up a talk. That's where all the brass comes. That's how they plan things. There will never be another talk where if you were in the military 10 years ago or further, even 5 years ago, there's never going to be another talk set up where all these bigwigs are gathered around a table with maps on the wall. It's not going to happen. If you park 3 Humvees next to each other, now with the drone technology, you're a massive target. The United States military is starting to see that, but they're not moving fast enough. Their mouth is moving fast enough, getting us into World War III or to conflict with the Russians, and our procedures and techniques are not keeping up with that. So we are in serious trouble. So do not be surprised if tactical nuclear weapons are used. They're trying to get NATO involved. There's a lot of Baltic countries that have running their mouths, and they have nothing to gain. They're going to soon realize that the United States has really nothing to back them up. Yes, we do have a punch, but it's very limited. So, there you go. You can hear the turkey in the background coming to see probably what I'm doing. So, do not be surprised if tactical nuclear weapons are used in Ukraine. And I can't blame the Russians. The reason is they are outnumbered, outmanned compared to the world, but they're holding their own. So don't be surprised if they're used. So, final reminder, massive sale, $8 a piece. You can't get them anywhere cheaper than that. So keep prepping, keep preparing. Thanks for watching.